जना यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे जय राधे श्याम सुंदर जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद गौर प्रेमानंद देवान विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद देसी भक्त वेदांत संस्कृत की जाए। देवान विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाए। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जाए। नमाचार्य सरदास ठाकुर की जाए। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जाए। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाए। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जाए। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जाए। गंगामय यमुनामयी की जाए। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जाए। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जाए। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाए। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Thank you all very much for joining. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, Shri Guru and Gauranga. Okay. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschalya Destarane उपाधि की जाए। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरि ओम तत्सत्। As we are in the fever of Lord Narasimha Chaturdashi, May 4th Thursday, so we are discussing, last Sunday we discussed Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj's instructions to his demoniac schoolmates. Now today, Canto 7, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 7. This is what did Prahlad learned in the womb of his mother Kayadu. So in the interest of time, I will pick up only a few verses, but we will try to summarize or give some understanding. So 7:7:28. Tasmad bhavadvi kartavyam karmanam triguna manam bija nirharanam yoga pravaha uparamo diya. Tasmad bhavadvi kartavyam karmanam triguna manam bija nirharanam yoga pravaha uparamo diya. Tasmat, therefore, bhavadvi, by your good selves, kartavyam, to be done, karmanam, of all material activities, three guna, atmanam, conditioned by the three modes of material nature, bija nirharanam, burning of the seed, yoga, the process by which one can be linked with the supreme, pravaha, of the continuous current, in the form of wakefulness, dreaming, deep sleep, uparama, cessation, and diya, of the intelligence. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. For, my dear friends, O sons of the demons, your duty is to take to Krishna consciousness, which can burn the seed of fruitive activities artificially created by the modes of the material nature and stop the flow of intelligence in wakefulness, dreaming, and deep sleep. In other words, when one takes to Krishna consciousness, his ignorance is immediately dissipated. Please repeat. Therefore, my dear friends, O sons of the demons, your duty is to take to Krishna consciousness, which can burn the seed of the fruitive activities artificially created by the modes of the material nature and stop the flow of the intelligence in wakefulness, dreaming, and deep sleep. In other words, when one takes to Krishna consciousness, his ignorance is immediately dissipated. These are very crucial verses in this chapter, prominent verses, very important. 28 to 31 or 32. We'll just cover those and then we'll try to understand from Srila Prabhupada. Tatra upaya sahasrana mayam bhagavato dita yaddisware bhagavati yata ir anjasarati. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Of the different processes recommended for disentanglement from material life, the one personally explained and accepted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be considered all perfect. That process is the performance of duties by which love for the Supreme Lord develops. Verse number 30 to 31. This is the most important out of this whole chapter. Very important. As in Bhagavad Gita, similar verses are there, and Prabhupada talks about it. Ananya Bhakti Yogena Bhakti Ravya Vicharini. Guru Ashram, Adav Guru Ashram, all those aspects of 20 items are there. So similar aspect verses are there here. Guru Sushroshaya Bhaktya Sarva Labdha Arpanena Cha Sangena Sadhu Bhaktanam Ishvara Aradhanena Cha. Note down the third line. Sangena Sadhu Bhaktanam. Not just Bhakta, Sadhu Bhakta, Sad Bhakta. Always see that. Devotee of the Lord, genuine devotee of the Lord, on the guidance of bona fide Acharya, bona fide Parampara. So that is what Sadhu Bhakta means. Sreddhaya tat katayam cha kirtanair guna karmanam tat padam burha jana tat linga ikshana arhana divi. One must accept the bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him with great devotion and faith. Whatever one has in one's possession should be offered to the spiritual master. And in the association of saintly persons and devotees, one should worship the Lord. Hear the glories of the Lord with faith and glorify the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord. Always meditate on the Lord's lotus feet and worship the deity of the Lord strictly according to the injunctions of the Shastra and Guru. Let's read the purport. This is a very important verse. In the previous verse, purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the previous verse, it has been said that the process which immediately increases one's love and affection for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the best of many thousands of ways to become free from the entanglement of material existence. It is also said, Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajanasya yena katasya panta. Actually, the truth of religious principles is extremely confidential. Nonetheless, it can be understood very easily if one actually adopts the principles of religion. As it is said, Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. The process of religion is enunciated by the Supreme Lord because He is supreme authority. This is also indicated in the previous verse by the word Bhagavat Oditaha. The injunctions or directions of the Lord are infallible and their benefits are fully assured. According to His directions, which are explained in this verse, the perfect form of religion is Bhakti Yoga. To practice Bhakti Yoga, one must first accept bona fide spiritual master Sri Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.274 to 75. Guru Padashraya Tasma Krishna Dikshadi Sikshanam Vishrambena Guru Seva Sadhu Vartaman Vartanam Saddharma Prucha Bhogadi Tyaga Krishnasya Hetave. One's first duty, here also you see that. What is devotee's position? Are we the bogi? Are we a tyagi? What are we? What is our position? We are sevi. Neither we are bogi, trying to enjoy the property of the Lord, nor we are tyagi, nor we are trying to renounce things and run away from life because it's too difficult. No, but rather we are sevi, always in the service mode. That's what Prahlad Maharaj's first and foremost instruction. Here, that is Saddharma Prucha Bhogadi Tyaga, Krishnasya Hetave. One's first duty is to accept a bona fide spiritual master. The student or disciple should be very inquisitive. He should be eager to know the complete truth about eternal religion, Sanatana Dharma. The words Guru Shushrushaya mean that one should personally serve the spiritual master by giving him bodily comforts, helping him in bathing, dressing, sleeping, eating, and so on. He doesn't require it, but it is for our mercy. But for us to give benefit, Guru does that. This is called Guru Shushrushanam. A disciple should serve the spiritual master as a menial servant, just like Lord doesn't need anything from us, but He allows us to serve. We are serving the deities, Shri Radha, Shyam Sundar, Shri Gaurnita, Shri Jagannath. So, we shouldn't be taking that for as granted. And be callous. A disciple should serve a spiritual master as a menial servant. You see that position. Again, very important statement. And whatever he has in his possession should be dedicated to the spiritual master. Pranay Radhe Diya Vacha. His life and soul is Guru. Everyone has his life, his wealth, his intelligence, his words, and all of them should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of the spiritual master. Everything should be offered to the spiritual master as a matter of duty, but the offering should be made to the spiritual master with heart and soul. See, initially it is a duty, mechanical. But it has to come to this kind of stage where you are putting your heart and soul. If there is no heart and soul, if there is no love, then it is mechanical, no attentiveness, no submissiveness, no menial servant. That quality is not there because love is not there. So all other things are coming up. Not artificially to gain material prestige. This offering is called Arpana. That is what Bhakti Arpana means. With love and devotion, nothing else. Moreover, one should live among devotees, saintly person, to learn the etiquette and proper behavior of devotion service. Prahlad Maharaj is teaching all this. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks in this connection that whatever is offered to spiritual master should be offered with love and affection, not for material adoration. Similarly, it is recommended that one associate with devotees, but there must be some discrimination. Actually, a sadhu, a saintly person must be saintly in his behavior. Sadhava, sad achar. So, sad achar, that's why sad bhakta, sadhu bhakta. These words are used, not just devotee. There's adjectives used so that we understand what is this devotee means. Unless one adheres to the standard behavior, one's position as a sadhu, a saintly person, is not complete. Therefore, Vaishnava sadhu must completely adhere to the standard of behavior. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that a Vaishnava, a person initiated into the Vaishnava cult, should be offered the respect befitting a Vaishnava, which means that he should be offered service and prayers However, one should not associate with him if he is not a fit person with whom to associate. So you have to be careful whom I associate with. Further. Hari sarveshu bhuteshu Bhagavan asta iswaraha iti bhutani manasa kamaistai sadhumanayet. Translation by Prabhupada. One should always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his localized representation as the Paramatma who is situated in the core of every living entity's heart. Thus, one should offer respect to every living entity according to that living entity's position or manifestation. Purport of Prabhupada. With this, we will try to understand because already 8:15. Hari sarveshu bhuteshu. This statement is sometimes misunderstood by unscrupulous persons who wrongly conclude that because Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is situated in every living entity. Every living entity is therefore Hari. Such foolish persons do not distinguish between the Atma and the Paramatma. Just like the Soham we were discussing other day. People think that I am Brahman. No, I am God. No, that is not what it means. It means you are just ordinary Brahman. The Lord is Parabrahman. Same thing here also. Atma and Paramatma is not the same thing. Atma is the living entity, Paramatma is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The individual living entity, however, is different from the Paramatma. So that's why you cannot attribute there is the Narayan, Swami Narayan, this Narayan, that Narayan. No, Narayan is Narayan. There is no comparison to anybody. No living entity can take the position of Lord Narayan. Narayana Para Abhyakta is before creation is there, is always there. No one can be compared to Lord Narayan. The individual living entity, however, is different from Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Hari Sarveshu Bhuteshu means that Hari is situated as Paramatma, not as Atma. Although Atma is part of Paramatma, offering respect to every living entity means offering respect to the Paramatma, situated in every living entity. One should not misunderstand every living entity to be the Paramatma. What is mentioning here? Sometimes unscrupulous persons designate a living entity as Daridra Narayan, Swami Narayan, this Narayan, or that Narayan. One should clearly understand that although Narayan is situated in the core of the heart of every living entity, the living entity never becomes Narayan. So try to understand this verse. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrupa Tamam Vande Sri Gurum Devataram Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Eswara Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadavayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Prabhu Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta ki jai. So we are discussing Lord Narsingh, the Prahlad Maharaj's instructions, what he has learned within the womb of Mother Kayadu. He's speaking because these demoniac schoolmates in the previous chapter, they're asking, hey, where did you learn? We never heard all these things. You are here with us, where did you learn? Then he's talking about his past history, what has happened. So before that, I want to chant a few prayers, beautiful prayers by Rupa Goswami. Then we can get the mercy of Lord Krishna, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Rupa Goswami. Namastasmai Bhagavate Krishnaya Kuntame Dase Yodatte Sarva Bhutanam Abhaya Musati Kala. I offer my obeisances to the bestower of unimpeded intelligence. As in the previous verse, Nardaman is saying, unimpeded, not ordinary intelligence of 3 states, but it is unimpeded intelligence. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who manifests his all attractive personal expansions so that all living entities can achieve liberation. Krishna Varnam Prisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Ignai Sankirtana Praye Rejanti Sumedasa. In this age of Kali, the intelligent persons perform congregation chanting to the worship of expansion of Godhead, who constantly sing the names of Krishna, although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Mukaravinda Nishyanda Maranda Baratundila. Mama Anandam Mukundasya Sandugdam Venukapali. May the gentle tones of Mukunda's flute, filled with the rich nectar flowing from his lotus mouth, evoke my complete ecstasy. Sri Chaitanya Mukhodgirna Hare Krishna Divannaka Majjayanto Jagat Premni Vijayantam Tat Abhavaya. All glories to the syllables Hare Krishna emanating from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These syllables following his own names are drowning the whole world in love of God. So this is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed with Gadadhar Pandit regularly, hundreds and hundreds of times, Prahlad Charita and Dhruva Charita, because of the sublime nature of Prahlad Maharaj's spotless character and his staunch devotion, unflinching, uninterrupted, unmotivated devotion to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nrsimhadev. So here in this verses, we can see that important instructions have been given. First of all, Canto 7, what is it is talking about? It's talking about the 10 subject matters. Canto 7 specifically talking about Udaya. So there are 10 subject matters in Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visargasya sthanam poshanam Udaya manvantara ishanu katha nirodho muktirashraya. So first one is sarga, then you have visarga, then you have sthanam. So creation of the universe, statement of sub-creation, and the planetary systems, and poshanam, and then protection, then udaya, creative impetus, also is vasana, karma vasana. So there are subha and asubha. We will come into that. Manvantara, the changes of manush, and ishanukata, signs of God, nirodha, going back to home, back to Godhead, and mukti, liberation, and ashraya, which is Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna. That is the high ultimate point. The coming to Krishna, coming to the attaining the shelter of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is the ashraya tattva. So that is to come to that point. Lord, the Sukadeva Goswami had to explain all these 10 subjects from creation to this point. That is the last point. Sammam Bonam Ashraya, which is in 10th canto. Each of these aspects are described in the 12 cantos. And the 12 cantos are different parts of the Lord. So that is the first point here it is being made. And then Canto 7 specifically is talking about Utaya, the Karma Vasanas. And Sridhar Swami explains that this Utischa Vasana Proktam Tat Tat Karma Anusarinam. And then, so basically these Karma Vasanas are the ones which are causing us the problem in this conditioned life. So what are those Karma Vasanas? One is auspicious, another one is inauspicious. Subha, Asubha, Subha, Cheti, Divida, Sa, Yetu, Vedata, Asubha, Mahatam, Kopa, Subha, Mahat, Anugraha. So two types of device. One is Subha, auspicious desire, another one is inauspicious desire. So by the mercy of pure devotee, we can, by the association of devotees, we can develop pure desires. But in case of, when we associate with irreligious persons or contaminated or material conditioned living entities, conditioned people, those who are devoid of sadhu, shastra and gurus, mercy, then we will tend to develop these impure desires. So that is the first point we must understand. Then, so Prahlad Maharaj is specifically here speaking to Mother Kayadu, is giving the history of what has happened. Hiranyakashipu went to perform severe austerities. So as it is mentioned also in Canto 6, prescribed duties of Ajamil's story also, the same thing has happened, because different living entities, people think that you can purify yourself by various means. And Sukadeva Goswami is also giving that, alluding to that, just to bring Parikshit Maharaj. He didn't want to bring bhakti directly into the forefront, because there are different schools of thought, different levels of people, elementary to the postgraduate. So not everybody at the same level. So that's why first Sukadeva Goswami started speaking about the karma, then gnana, then bhakti is bringing. So there also same point is mentioned that so there's Hiranyakashipu is also thinking, I should perform austerity to become strong and stout. And then Hiranyakashipu went to perform austerities. So at that time, this Indra and all the demigods, now we have the opportunity now. Let's harass these demons, send these demons out who has captured all our places. So then Indra and all the demigods become victorious now because Hiranyakashipu left to perform great austerities. But these austerities are not going to help us to actually purify. So nahi tata agavan rajan puyeta tat adivi tat purusha nishevaya tat krishnarpita prana tat purusha nishevaya. We cannot purify ourselves, our conditioned state as the 6 anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, matsarya. So only way we can purify is nahi tata agavan rajan. So agavan, aga means sinful activities of these 6 anarthas. Rajan is talking to the king. Nahi tata Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami speaking. Nahi tata agavan rajan puyeta tat adivihi. You cannot purify by unless you take to the Tat Purusha Nisheva, Tata Krishnarpita Prana, Yata Krishnarpita Pranas, unless living entities submit to the devotee, pure representative. Who is that one? Tat Krishnarpita, who has submitted his life and soul, everything at the lotus feet of the previous Acharya and Krishna. Krishnarpita Prana. This is what whom we have to submit to, not anybody else. This quality must be there in their life. Krishna, full submission, 100%. Krishnarpita prana, then what we have to do? Tat Purusha Nishevya, to that personality who has submitted to the previous Acharyas and Supreme Lord, to that personality one must serve with pranaya dhyayir ardhaya dhyayir vacha, as in the previous verse, in the purport Prabhupada is enunciating. That's stressing that point. So this is the way one can say, but Hiranyakashipu thought, just like us conditioned souls, we thought, no, I can do. Or people think that it is like a purifying. You take a liquor bottle, Sura Kammam Viva Paga. You cannot purify. You take liquor bottle, you try to clean, wash, whatever you may do, you can never purify that. Only you can purify by the pure devotion service. And that's why Narada Muni is here, Prahlad Maharaj instructing. So when Hiranyakashipu went to perform austerities, then these demons, the demigods, Indra and all others were conquered and then thrown away all the demons. And then not only that, they took Kayadu, wife of Hiranyakashipu, and taken by force and dragging her, basically taking that, because who is in the womb? This must be another big, already Hiranyakashipu we are struggling, and now the big demon is going to come from the womb. Then we can't, we won't be able to maintain ourselves with this. So let's kill. That was the thought process. Then at that point, Narada Muni appeared on the scene. I told instructor, hey, what are you doing? Why are you dragging a woman? And why are you trying to kill? Actually, this personality is a great devotee who's going to appear. Don't do that. I will take care of that. You do your business. So then Narada Muni takes the Mother Kayadu to the ashram. And she was very much disturbed because by seeing all these demigods, and she was very much fearful. So it is like comparison is given like Purari bird was attacked by a lion or so, or Garuda. So then she was so fearful. So this fear is there in us also. So that when we have this fear, how will we able to come out of this fear? Yasyam vai sruyamananam bhakti Krishna parama purushe soka moha vayapaha. By hearing the transcendental subject matter of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna's glories, name, form, qualities, nama, rupa, guna, leela, will be able to actually remove our fear. Lamentation, soka, moha, bayapaha. Soka, lamentation, baya, fear, moha, illusion, everything will be removed. As Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 4, about himself, why he appears, when he appears, and what will happen knowing about him. And then at the end, he concludes in the 10th verse, 4.10, Vetaraga Vayakroda Manmaya Upasa Bhavo Gnana Tapasa Pota Madbhav Magata. Previously, all the great sages, great personalities have become purified from Veta Raga, attachment, Krodha, anger, Bhaya, fear, Veta Raga Bhaya Krodha. By taking shelter of me, taking shelter of my representative. Manmaya Upasrata. Unless you take shelter of Lord Krishna and his representative, there is no possibility to come out of this. So again and again, it has been mentioned. So here also Narada Muni taking Mother Kayadu to the ashram, and then that's where now Prahlad Maharaj is speaking, that what I have learned. So first, Narada Muni, even though he spoke to both of us, Mother Kayadu, I was in the womb, but Kayadu didn't remember anything. But rather, I remembered everything, what Narada Muni has spoken. So then he started giving instructions. He started talking about these demoniac schoolmates, what he learned. First topic is talking just like Lord Krishna is also talking about, just like we have yesterday in Gita class we were discussing. You have a glass body, and then you have subtle body, which is mind, false ego. Then you have a spiritual body, the soul. So we have to shred, give up this gross body, give up the subtle body, and attain actually spiritual body completely. That is what we are trying to get. So same way here, as Prahlad Maharaj is also was talking about the first Bhagavat Gita, also same aspect is there. So karma, first 6 chapters, middle 6 chapters is bhakti, last 6 chapters is jnana. So we have to utilize, because the body has to be purified, the senses has to be purified, so that's why we have to perform karma. And then the mind, intelligence, policy also has to be, subtle body also has to be purified. So you need to apply that intelligence, that knowledge towards the Supreme Lord and his representative, so that we purified intelligence. Otherwise, the intelligence is described here. So now Prahlad Maharaj is describing all these things. And then the devotion aspect. So we have to go out of this. Karma has to be fully purified. We go gradually from karma stage to jnana stage, then to bhakti stage actually. And then we come to the pure devotion. That's why there's karma mishra bhakti, jnana mishra bhakti, and then suddha bhakti. So it's a gradual elevation. We can't come to pure devotion by spontaneously, automatically, suddenly in one day. No, it just doesn't happen. We require a lot of practice. So here, that's what Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning that. First thing is talking about how living entity is not the body, and how the body and how the creation has happened with 26 elements of Sankhya Yoga, with the Bhumi Rapo Analo Vayu Kam Buddhir Mano Evacha, this earth, fire, water, air, ether, then mind, intelligence, ego, these 8 elements, and then he's talking about the Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, the time factor, so all these Tanmatras. So all these together, 24, 25, 26 elements are basically Narada Muni is teaching first about the basic as fundamentals of the body and the soul, how this universal body is comprised of, and our gross body is also comprised. Gross body is comprised of these basic elements of gross and subtle, which is 5 and 3. Same way, the universal body is also made up of much more, larger, 26, 24, 26 elements. So that's what he's describing. Then he's talking about the temporary nature of the body and the actual transcendental nature of the soul. So that's why, but the soul's quality, attaining happiness, again, we discussed yesterday and before also, soul cannot attain its happiness by our own endeavor. It requires the mercy of the great devotees of the Lord. It requires the mercy of the Lord. So Lord will not give his mercy unless, first of all, his representative gives his mercy. So that's what we require. Both are two parallel the train track. Krishna, you approach Krishna, then you get Guru. And through Guru's mercy, then you attain Krishna. So this is the process. Guru and Krishna both are needed. But more than Krishna, rather, his representative. They are more merciful. Titikshva karunika surudo sarvadehina ajata sitro santa sadhu sadhu bhusham. This is the quality. Very merciful, very tolerant. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj is giving the instruction. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also giving the same instruction that Prahlad Maharaj didn't want to go back to Godhead. Nothing they wanted. You take the benedictions. You ask me. No, I don't want any benediction. I don't want to go back to Godhead either. Rather, I was very much want to serve my spiritual master because I have received so much knowledge. I want to serve him and I want to deliver. I'm being afflicted by seeing all these living entities being conditioned. Being more rather seeing their condition. I am not able to stay. So with this, so I have to preach, I have to educate, I have to teach all of them. Then only I can actually get back to Godhead. Before that, I can't come. I have to please, I have to serve my spiritual master. That was the quality. Anyway, so Prahlad Maharaj instructed in this way the Demoniya about the soul and body, first basic fundamentals of Lord Krishna speaking in Bhagavad Gita. Then he has come. Now you understand that of the gross body, how it is made. Now he's talking about subtle body of the mind, especially he's talking about give up this false tendency of false intelligence, which has 3 qualities. Sushupti, Jagarana, and one more word is used, Sanskrit word, which is basically wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep. Wakefulness is only daytime, and in night time you dream using the subtle body. Gross body is lying down. Subtle body you are trying to enjoy. So that is the sleep. And deep sleep is almost like a dream. Sleep, you are sleeping with the gross body lying down. And the deep sleep is Sushupti. When living entities go back to the abdomen of Mahavishnu during the partial annihilation, so that is called Sushupti, deep sleep. Or sometimes living entities are in coma, unconscious kind of, almost. They're still there, living, but still unconscious. That is called deep sleep. But this is still a false intelligence. The intelligence which is in wakeful stage or sleep or deep sleep, still it is not pure. So this has to be pure. How do you do that? How do you purify this gross body made up of these elements? How do you purify this intelligence? Then Prahlad Maharaj brings this point, which we just read those verses. First point, Prahlad Maharaj speaking is how to burn this karma vasanas. Karma nirahanam or bija nirahanam, the seed, the fruitive proclivity in the heart of the living entity. This must be purified. Same aspect is mentioned in Canto 6 also. There it is used, here it is mentioned a bija niraharanam, there it is used karma niraharan. So, I think in the 6th canto, first chapter, we will see what's number probably 13 or 12, 11 or 12 or 13 or so. Then, then Prahlad Maharaj started. How do you do that? How do you burn? Because as soon as you come in the association of devotees, you are getting your sinful activities burned up. So, then Narada Muni gives how actually, what is the process, what are the steps. He brings the various steps. And the same aspect in Canto 6 also, you can see some parallels are there, some points are similar. There also this aspect is mentioned that Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktiya Vasudeva Parayana Agam Dunvanti Karsnena Neharam Yavaskara. Just only by pure devotion service you can actually burn this seed of contamination in the heart, these karma vasanas, asubha vasanas, inauspicious desires, which is capturing us again and again in this material world. So that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed, and in the Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajam, you will see that at the end we'll sing that song. There you can see the instruction, all the instruction, the essence. That's why in all these great prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottam Das Thakur, this is Shastra. Because Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Lord, whatever he is speaking on the spiritual master, the pure devotees of the Lord, they already know that they put the essence into these prayers, into the very, very highly transcendental subject matter, essence, giving the essence into just few prayers. If you understand that, our life can be perfect. So that is Shastra. Prabhupada mentioned again, Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayer specifically is like Shastra itself. So there in that Nadiya Godrume song, you will see that Jive Daya and Krishna Nam, these two are very aspects. Prahlad Maharaj, the highest, the fundamental, the foremost, the topmost, the essence is Udvega. Give up this envious attitude. Why we are here in this material world? Because one character is enviousness of the Lord. So give up that Advesta Sarvabhutanam Maitra Karunaya Nirmamo Nirahamkara Samadukya Kshami in 12th chapter Bhagavat Krishna is speaking. The same point, Prahlad Maharaj is teaching that give up this attitude of enviousness. Actually, rather, don't give. That in this Nadiya Bodhune verse also same aspect. You must be compassionate. When you are compassionate, then you will not be dvesha, you will not be envious. You will be very, when you are compassionate, that means you are very merciful to living entities. So Prahlad Maharaj is especially teaching this aspect. Even to the demiurge, he was not thinking that these are demons. Rather, he was so compassionate to even the demons, like Haridas Thakur, so compassionate, so merciful, like Lord Nityananda. So Prahlad Maharaj is teaching the first aspect, that how to not only devotees, but every living entity try to be compassionate, more and more try to give mercy. So it's very, very important. And so Prabhupada is carrying that mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. That's why we are here today discussing, because of his mercy. Prahlad Maharaj is carrying that potency of Prahlad Maharaj. So that is the first aspect. And the Krishna Nam, the chanting of the holy name must be taken to the highest level. Very, very attentively, we must chant every day. Prahlad Maharaj teaching. And these two are the very, very focal points in this Nadiya Godrume verse. Jivadaye Krishna Nam, both. So you compassionate, you give, but at the same time, you yourself have to purify. You have to chant. That's you could be a great preacher, but we have to examine ourselves. When we are chanting, how much we are chanting. When you are standing in front of the Lord, can you stand in front of the Lord for hours and hours? As soon as time comes, prasadam time, can we stay? Maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour. More than that, can we stay? Because bodily necessities are coming up even to the forefront. Because we don't have that attraction. So that's what so that intensity has to increase. Just Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu standing in front of Lord Jagannath for hours, almost pretty much more than a half day. Then Govinda had to remind him, oh my Lord, your time is up, your duties has to be performed. Then Lord came to that consciousness. Otherwise, so much absorbed in consciousness. Prabhupada also 3 days non-stop chanting and kirtan in Jhansi. Lord Krishna gave him a garland. He was in that consciousness. Many times Prabhupada always chanting 64 rounds, more than that. Throughout the day, he's always chanting. When he's not translating, when he's not with somebody, he's always chanting. He's always speaking of the beat chanting. But we are not of that. So we have to learn. Prahlad Maharaj is teaching these two aspects. One is compassion. One is to how to be attentive to the chanting of the holy name to the highest level. At the same time, don't sit at home and chant 32 rounds. That is not the process given by our acharyas. Yes, when you don't have any other service and you don't have any other duties, you chant 64 rounds, whatever you want to do. But when you have service, when you have a duty to perform to your children or parent or husband, whatever, so that you must take care. It is a duty. It is very, very important duty. Krishna has given a wife, husband, or parent or child. You must perform the duty. It is your obligation. It is your duty. So because this is compassion also there also. It is not just you do a compassion outside. It also applies to us. We have a lot of work to do. Improve these aspects because this loving exchanges has to be everywhere. So it requires a lot of attention to the chanting. So, and then we have to apply that principle, that love, that caring, that sensitivity must be applied. So Prahlad Maharaj is teaching in this way. How do you do that? Guru Padashvaya, the first aspect. We can't apply this principle of this love, genuine love, by ourselves. That is, we don't have that quality. So we have to derive that quality from bona fide spiritual one. That's why it is required. Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning Ado Guru Ashrayam. Then he's talking about Sadharma Pucha, but before that, Vishramba Sevanam. We must serve them submissively, attentively. So with love and with deep love and offer everything, whatever you have, your body, your intelligence, your wealth, your wife, your husband, your children, whatever you have, you try to offer everything. So to that kind of submission is needed. It is not just formality. So it becomes formality many times, but rather we have to give up this formality business. Love, bhakti is not formality. Bhakti is having to do with offering everything to the Lord. Love is offering everything. You don't hold things. So that tendency is there, holding of things. But that tendency has to be given up. So that's when it becomes actually pure and fructifies it. So that's when you can see the Lord. As Kunti Maharani is praying. Srunvanti gayanti nandanti, srunvanti gayanti grunanti, nandanti, smaranti nandanti tave hitam acharena tavakam. The same achareti tavakam. So when one who wants to see the Supreme Lord very, very quickly, face to face, acharena tavakam, paschanti acharena tavakam, how will you do that? You must continuously. Srunvanti, you have to hear. Gayanti, you have to sing, chant. Take to this path of Grananti, Smaranti, you have to remember. And Nandanti, you'll get great pleasure. And continuously you have to do this. Avipsana means continuously. Not just one day you'll do and another day you'll stop. One day you'll do 16 rounds, another day 1 round. No, it has to be consistent process. Systematic study, systematic hearing, systematic association, systematic service. All these 4 main aspects cannot be given up even at one single day. So whether it's Ekadasi, regular day Ekadasi, no, I'll sit at home and do Abhishek and do just myself. You are supposed to take darshan of the Lord. You are supposed to do some service. If service is there, don't. See, all these things has to be understood very, very carefully. If you are not in the association of devotees, you are not in scrutinizingly reading and hearing, then you have come up with your own conclusions. You come up with your own comfortable situations. You do what you like. Bhakti is not what you like. It is what Lord likes, what Guru likes, how you can please them. Then that is bhakti. Otherwise, it is not bhakti. It is not what you like. Then you don't need Guru. You don't need this process. That's what we have been doing many lifetimes. What I like, that's what I want to do. No, but we have to give up that tendency, this comfortable situation, we have to come out. And by that can only happen when you take the shelter of the spiritual master and take the association of devotees and Guru Ashram. Then Vishramba Sevanam. In this way, you have to serve. What pleases my Guru? I should note down, I should hear attentively and note down those points and then try to implement one by one. Vishramba Sevanam. Then you can ask questions, Saddharma Prucha, Sadhu Margan Gamanam, and then follow. You don't imitate what the Guru does, you shouldn't imitate. Rather, you shouldn't sit at the same position as the Guru. You shouldn't suggest or try to guide him, try to talk, try to instruct him. There are many instructions like that. With Guru, how one must be very alert. It is sharp razor edge. You have to be very, very alert. You have to be very, very careful. Familiarity breeds contempt. So more you serve closely, so you have to be very, very careful. You want to stay in Dham or staying with Guru service for days, more than few days, it is not going to be easy because you will tend to do offenses. You have to be very careful. So unless you are really, really careful and submissive and menial servant position you are in, grounded, then you can do that. Otherwise, it is a little more dangerous. So that's only few days you should stay in holy place. Few days only you should serve closely with Guru. It's not easy otherwise. It's very, very important. This Vishramba Sevanam, Saddharma Gucha, Sadhu Margan Gamanam. You have to follow carefully how Srila Prabhupada followed, how His Grace Jnananda Prabhu, favorite disciple Prabhupada followed, so to the point of Prahlad Maharaj followed. So in this way, Prahlad Maharaj instructing these points very carefully how one must serve Vishramba Sevanam, Sadhu Margan Gamanam, following the instruction what he is giving, how to carefully follow. And Prabhupada is given clear instructions. First and foremost thing is that if you have a small child, you should take care. Your health is a priority, and then you should chant the holy name. Don't try to wake up the Lord and open the altar. At temple, yes, there are certain timings. At home, that is not the process. First process is you have to wake up. As soon as you wake up, first thing is you have to chant at least few rounds. Don't do services, don't do anything without chanting one round at least, because you don't have any attentiveness otherwise. You don't do it properly when you don't chant. So that is the first business. At least few rounds. You have to chant. Then you do. Then hearing, and then reading. So this is the process Prabhupada has given. So that way you have to read, scrutinize, and then you know what is the sequence. And you have to be always under the guidance, and take the guidance of an advanced devotee. Then based on that, then you adjust yourself based on your life, your own situation, and then see what is best, what type of devotion service may work better because of your proclivities, because of your situation. That's why we have these Sangha, association of devotees, to take shelter, to receive instruction, to understand, to discuss confidentially. So if you don't, then you want to keep yourself. I don't want to share. It is my personal. Yes, you keep personal for lifetimes and lifetimes. Then what can be done? Nothing much can be done. You cannot improve yourself if you want to keep it to yourself, not share confidentially with the devotees. So that is wisdom, sadhu margan, then you can follow. If you don't take instruction, you don't associate, you don't discuss, then where is the question of sadhu margan? How do you know what spiritual master wants you to do? How do you know what Lord wants you to do? There is no way for you to know unless you receive the instructions. So that's why it is a very important process here. Prahlad Maharaj is instructing us, a very, very important point. Is instructing. So already 8:50. So let's sing the song before. Let me share. Hold on. Then we'll come back to this point again further if we have time. Oops. There is a share button. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay. नदिया गोद्रो में नित्यानंद महाजान प्रति आचे नाम हट्ट जीवेर कारण प्रभुर आज्ञाय वाय मागी भिक्षा बोलो कृष्ण भजो कृष्ण करो कृष्ण शिक्षा अपराध शून्य होय यही लेख कृष्ण नाम, कृष्ण माता कृष्ण पिता कृष्ण दान प्राण, कृष्णेर संसार करो चाड़ी अनाचार, जीवे दोय कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार. This is the last line is very, very important. In the other lines, in the translation, Nityananda Mahajan so mercifully opened a marketplace in Madhya Godruma for the welfare of suffering souls. In that marketplace, only the holy name is traded. Shradavan Jane, Shradavan Jane. I forgot that line. What is the price? Shradavan Jane, Shradavan Jane. Those who have faith in the holy name and faith in the words of Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. This is the price. This is the faith. Prahlad Maharaj also talked about, before that is bringing that Guru Ashrayam. First he talked about faith. And the Lord Krishna also talks about this faith. Ashrada Dana Purusha Dharma Syasya Pranda Prapya Mam Nivartante Mrittu Samsara Vartmani. 9th chapter, most concluding verse number 3. If you don't have faith, then the introduction also Prabhupada talks about. First, foremost quality one must have is faith. If you don't have faith on Lord Krishna and his representative, there is no progress. You can't understand Bhagavad Gita. It will be mystery. You can't understand any transcendental subject matter. So the faith is very much required. Faith in, that's a Achara Nishta, so Bhagavat Nishta, Samstapak Nishta, all these are required. Otherwise, we tend to do what we like. If we don't have that Nishta and faith and to follow their instructions, then we won't be able to progress. So here, the holy name, we have faith in those who have faith in the holy name and faith in the words of Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. This is the price, faith. Only those persons are allowed to enter that marketplace. They can buy and sell the holy name. Sri Nityananda Prabhu requests the faithful persons, those who have developed faith in the holy name, to come and take it. Sri Nityananda Prabhu says, this is the order of my Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my master. Who is that master? Ajanulambiro Bhujo, Kankavadato, Sankirtana Aikapitro, Kamalaya Paksho, Vissambaro, Dijavaro, Yukadharma Palo, Anandalilama, Vigraha, Himava Divya Visundaraya, Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo. So that is the Lord. He is the Lord of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Therefore, I have come to your doorstep, or brother, I am a beggar. I beg for the alms. Utter the name of Krishna. Do Krishna bhajan. Accept what Krishna has taught us. These are the alms I am begging from you. Aparada sunya hoy, leka Krishna naam, leka Krishna naam, Krishna mata, Krishna pita, Krishna dhana pran. Chant his holy name without offenses. Chant the pure name of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is the mother, Sri Krishna is the father, Sri Krishna is wealth and asset, Sri Krishna is the Lord of my heart. Sri Krishna is the life and soul. Krishna is everything. Nama Sankirtanavasya Sarva Papa Pranasam Pranamo Dukta Samatan Namam Harim Param. By chanting the holy name of the Lord. Yesterday we were reading also. By just simply the two syllables, Hari. By simply chanting that name, you are getting the essence of all the four Vedas. You are getting the result of reading four Vedas. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu quoting. Krishnera samsara karo chadi anachar jive doya Krishna naam sarva dharma sar. This is the essence. Give up all your bad dealings. I forgot to mention this before. Krishna samsara karo chadi anachar. This is vasana, karma vasana. Give up all your bad dealings, habits and behavior and enter into Krishna samsara. The only relationship is with Krishna, Sri Krishna. Establish yourself in that relationship. Shower mercy on all the jivas, seeing them as Sri Krishnas and completely surrender unto the holy name of Sri Krishna. This is the essence of all dharma. This is the essence of all dharma. And further, we see that this is Mahaprabhu's further instruction also. Madhyalila to Sanatana Goswami. Vishnu Vaishnava Ninda Gramya Varta Na Sunive Prani Matre Mano Vakye Udvega Na Dive. Prahlad Maharaj's greatest instruction. This Udvega, Advesta, non-envious. Don't give anxiety. So the devotee should not hear Lord Vishnu or his devotees blasphemed, and don't criticize. The devotee should avoid reading or hearing newspapers or mundane books that contain stories of love affairs between man and woman or subjects palatable to the senses. Number 20. Neither by mind nor words should the devotee cause anxiety to any living entity. Udvega, Nadiva, regardless of how insignificant he may be. Prani matre mano vakye udvega na dive. Very, very important. Prahlad Maharaj is teaching these important lessons. And so This is what we are learning. And then Prahlad Maharaj instructing after discussing, after talking about this Guru Ashrayam Sadharma Prucha, is talking about, now I have described about this process. Now you have to remember, you have to meditate. Guru Shushrusha. Shushrusha is a very important word. How much menial servant position and serve submissively. That is a Shushrusha means. Bhaktya, with devotion. Sarva labda arpanena cha. You are offering everything. Arpanena means that's what. Sangena sadhu bhaktanam. In association of pure devotees. Sadhu bhakta, sad bhakta. So that is important. Iswara aradhanena cha. You worship Lord. So with all your wealth and everything, whatever you have. And how it should be done? Shraddhayam tat kathayam cha. One must hear, we are discussing kathayam cha. Hear Krishna katha. And Kirtanay guna karmanam. So the glories of the Lord. Tat padam burhat janat, and meditate on the Lord. Tat linga iksha arhanadivi. So observing and worshipping. So you can see this. This is the way one must actually attain. One can attain to the Supreme Lord by this process, by following this Prahlad Maharaj's very, very important instruction. And then he talked about this. Now I have given, then you meditate. And remember, one must always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his localized representation as Paramatma. Is situated in the core of everyone's heart. Thus, one should offer respect to every living entity, and according to that living entity's position or manifestation. So now already 8:58. So we haven't gone to the further, but let's take questions. So your devotees, anyone has questions, reflections, comments, corrections? Thank you very much for patiently listening. My screen froze up again. Go ahead. Now, if you're there, you can unmute if they are muted. Your devotees, let me see. Yeah, they are being unmuted. Any questions, comments? No, no one has questions, comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, go ahead. Srinivas Prabhu.
Thanks for the nice class in the morning. Prabhuji, all the things that you said, that Prahlad Maharaj quoted, how we have to be, how we have to follow,
Yes,
practice in our life to advance into the spiritual, or get into the spiritual progress.
right.
So practically, I know you will say definitely that we have to follow, we must follow. But every day we face many other things, but keeping them aside and focusing on the Lord, even though we know that the Lord is the ultimate goal for our life, we are most of the time we are unable to cross over those obstructions or problems. But at the same time, you are also working as me, as another working in the IT industry, and I'm amazed that how you are able to manage your time. And please suggest, Prabhuji, actually, because this is where I'm struggling in my life. So I need some advice. And of course, to get into the right path, getting into the spiritual progress a little more faster.
Yeah, this is more of a practical consideration. I would suggest that is the balancing of activities has to be done. We have to examine ourselves. Yesterday we were discussing that one must, there are many aspects in this Guru Ashram to these steps. First is a inquiry. One must have inquiry, the inquisitiveness has to be there. Then you have to have some examination, whether you take car to a mechanic or whether you go to a doctor. You have first have that inquisitiveness, there is a problem or there is something you have to check, you are worried, or you are just proactive. Then you go to a doctor, then they examines what's going on here. So let's check the vital, let's take, say we have to examine our activities 24/7 in one day. What are we doing? Where is the time going? If the time is going more than 8 to 10 hours, we should ideally not to spend more than 8 hours in work. Ideally, we should balance. We should be smart. Not take, see, after you want bonus, you want promotion, You want to grow more and more, more and more. You want to get more money. Yes, nothing is bad. But not at the expense of devotion, sir. Not at the expense of chanting, not at the expense of service, not at the expense of hearing, not at the expense of association. I'm being blunt, I'm telling you. If you are at the expense of devotion service, you do things, you want money, you want investment, you want to buy this, that, so many things. What for? Why we are here in bhakti? In bhakti, we are here, we want to get prema. How will you get it? If you are busy, so caught up with so many things, then how will you get it? There is no possibility. Already we are enough complicated our life, many lifetimes. We have enough conditioning. And despite that, you want to just go here and there, run and work and so long hours. It's just not practical to be developing this devotion. So we have to balance. So we have to see if we are working 15, 20 hours or more than 12 hours, night shifts and whatnot. See how you can, how to be smart. You sincerely pray. First thing you have to do is sincerely pray to Lord Krishna. I am being stuck in this office work more than 8 to 10 hours. I am not able to concentrate on devotional principles. Please help me here. I need your help. And pray to Guru also. Then they will help. They will adjust the situation. That's how I've been. In 1 month, I worked a few years ago, 257 hours, 250 plus hours, 17 hours a day, a whole month. And Krishna took care of all of that. When you pick up the responsibility with 100% faith, a Guru and Krishna's business, if you are carrying, your anarthas will be kicked out, all the adjustment of your work, everything will happen. When you don't have the responsibility and when you don't have 100% faith on Guru and Krishna, you are not sincerely praying for that, then he cannot help it. He will be on your own. So it's like when Kunti Maharani is saying, that's why I am the most fallen. I have all more than Jagai Madai, as Rupa Goswami is mentioning. And sincerely, she is praying that I need your mercy more than anybody else. I am the most fallen, Kunti Maharani is saying. Even though she is exalted already, but still she is praying. Then obviously Lord is there. Stayed for so many days and months, leaving everybody else. He is there with Pandavas for so long. And they could divert the plan of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna wanted, he was on the chariot, he is ready to go. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj said, no, you can't go. You have to be there a few more days. Then Lord said, all right, because they have the intense devotion. So that's why we have to pray for the Lord's mercy that please some or the other adjust the situation. Otherwise, we will complicate our work situation. Such an extent, we don't have time for festival. And festival, yes, weekdays or what? Weekdays still you can be, compare yourself with the Western audience. Western people will work like ourselves, work 10 hours, 12 hours. When they have a thing to take care, their family thing or something, vacation, they will not care about what my manager is going to think, whether I will get promotion. They will go. But only it is our tendency only like that. No, work day, I have a lot of work to do, Prabhu. I cannot come. It is a weekday festival. I will come at my own time. No. If you are sincere enough, you are submissive enough, you will adjust everything else. Think that this festival, these events, everything is like our own house marriage. You are going to miss your own house marriage. You yourself are supposed to be there. Will you do that? No, you will not. You will never do that. So same thing. Our festival, these events are Prabhupada's thing. So Prabhupada's his own, previous acharyas desires. So we should be there. Ideally, it can only happen if you plan ahead. It can only happen if you have sincere prayer. Then only these things will happen. Otherwise, these adjustments will never happen. Once in a while, we may be able to come, but we won't be able to. We cannot miss a single festival. Festival means the timing. We should be there. Only we will be there. We will have sincere prayers. We will adjust. So this is the first and foremost. The prayers has to be there. And look at your work style and discuss with manager and see or adjust smartly how to finish your work quicker and don't take overwork. No, it's not the point of so much promotion, so much, more and more bonuses. It's where are we going to get at? To some extent you can do, but not to the extent that you are going to miss these activities. Then no point. I used to have consulting. I gave up. What is the point of getting money? That is not the point. Why we are here in bhakti process? It's not to gain money. I open multiple companies. I buy multiple houses. Do what? What is that the purpose? Why we are in bhakti? Yes, Krishna is saying you offer everything self to me. But did you take guidance from Guru and Krishna? Guru, that before you do these things, Is it going to help you in devotion, or is it going to drag you away from devotion? That must be considered. If you don't consider it, you do your own planning. And Krishna, what can Krishna can do? Guru cannot do anything. Don't be independent. When you are independent, only things will go in a different way. When you are dependent on Guru and Krishna, then it goes in their way. So that's why we have to go as Krishna's plan is the best plan. Guru's plan is the best plan. You have to take guidance. Then things will work. Otherwise, we have our own planning, our own desires. Then you have this priority, that priority, host priority, so many priorities, kids priority. Yes, everything is a priority, but where is the balance? You have to work with the kids. They can do, if they are after 16, let them do their thing. Only when we are needed, really needed, they let them be independent. We should be guiding them. We should be culturing them. It's not that you're hand-holding your whole life. Because then you can do bhakti. So bhakti priorities should be set to our children. Priorities should be set to your wife and husband. This is the timing how I should spend my chanting, my hearing, my service, and with kids, with children, how much time I should spend on vacation, how much, everything has to be balanced. If there is no balance, there is no progress in bhakti, period. Whether you like it or not like it, I'm going to say it blunt, because that's what Sri Prabhupada taught us. You have to be serious. You have to be, learn these things. Otherwise, just monotonously go on the same stream, no movement. You just stay where you are. So that's what I would suggest, that work in that manner. Look at the priorities, look at your day-to-day activities, and see how to cut down unwanted things. No watching TV, no games. This is not what Prabhupada instructed. You do your own planning, then nothing, no one can help. Yeah, TV, no, it's not a use. Unless you have some immediate news you have to watch, yes. No watching cell phone for anything other than Krishna conscious activities. Why should we see who likes, who dislikes our Facebooks? No point. We have to get away from all this unwanted rubbish politics. No, not needed. You hear from others anyway. Why do we need to read and hear? Spend time in that. No point. Let them argue and fight whatever they want to do. But our business is to hold on to Krishna and Guru's lotus feet and be busy in that. Rather, then that will help us. That he will adjust. Krishna will adjust whatever has to be adjusted. More bonus has to come, or whatever. More money has to come. That Krishna and Guru will take care. We will not basically give up our job and go renounce. That's not what I'm saying. You do, but there should be priority. There should be some timing. There should be some limit to the extent, and be content. Be happy with what you get. Don't try to do two jobs. Sometimes devotees do that. Yes, you do. You do. If you are able to balance, great. You do 3 jobs and give the money to Krishna, no problem. But it is not at the extent of giving up service. It is not at the extent of chanting. It is not at the extent of hearing. It is not at the extent of reading. You can't do that. Then you can't progress much. You have all obligations. Then where is the priority? How will you be patient and tolerant? And you can't be. When you have 100 things going on in your brain, there is no possibility of when you're chanting is going to be fixed. All these thoughts will come. So that's why first we have to simplify. Bhakti is simple. For who? When the devotee is simple. When his lifestyle is simple, then it is simple. Otherwise, bhakti is complicated. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I didn't want to offend anybody, but sometimes I have to say the truth in blunt way. Please forgive me for speaking like that.
No, Prabhuji. Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
No other questions. We can stop here. Time to time already. Time is Krishna. So, okay. Vaishnavanda ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. May 4th Narsingh Chaturdasi. Cooking will start, I think, afternoon, so 2 or 3. Prakash Prabhu will do. Try to help if you are available, hour or afternoon, whatever. Try to adjust and then see what we can do. Then evening service will be there. Abhishek will be there, 6 to 9 because it's a weekday. Abhishek will be there. Quick Abhishek by Pujari only. You can just watch. And then Igna will be there. I think after the Aarti, 7 to 7:30 is Aarti, and after that Igna will start 1 hour or so. So try to plan and join. Very, very important. Narsingh Chaturdasi. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namaste Tejase Avirbhava Vajranak Vajid Amshra Karmasayam Rande Rande Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmane Bhuvishta Om Ksham Rasana Samadev Bhagwan Ki Jai Bhakta Sriram Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. This is 518 verse. It talks about this removing all anarthas, contamination of heart by praying to Lord Narasimha. That's a Prabhupada has given at an instance where Prabhupada was sick in here only, in Long Branch in New Jersey, I believe. I think so, if I remember correctly. When he was sick first time, then that time when devotees asked what you can do, that time Prabhupada has given these Narasimha prayers which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, those verses are there. Prabhupada has given. No, you chant this to continue to keep me here on this planet because I haven't fulfilled my spiritual master instructions. So that's what Prabhupada has given for us also, to not only for a spiritual master benefit, for our progress to remove the obstacles on our path. So that's why we pray, we chant these Narasimha prayers at the end of Kirtan, at the end of the class, mostly at the end of the Kirtan. Every day, pretty much, we chant these prayers. So let's take shelter of Lord Narasimha Dev, and along with Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj, he can guide us. He is the one who can guide us by praying. Then Lord Narasimha Dev will be merciful. Unless you get the mercy of Bhakta Prahlad, there is no possibility for us to actually. Lord Narasimha Dev will not listen to us. If Prahlad Maharaj can listen to us, then Lord Narasimha for sure is going to listen. So that should be our first and foremost duty, to pray to Prahlad Maharaj. Thank you. The Sunday feast is there. Please join. Govindas is there. GovindasNJ.com. You can place your orders. Yeah. Conclude.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Thank you.